Hello. Oh, there are the messages. It took forever to show up. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It feels good to be back. It's another week of peak, ladies and gentlemen. We are here once again. As always, I am your host, Call Sign Henshin, your mercenary of fortune, coming to you live from the year 2025. And I've been gone for a minute. We took this last week off on both Twitch and YouTube. Hello, Moonlight. How you doing? We took this past week off for personal reasons that I've already elaborated on if you've been following the posts. But I am back, and we are here for another week of peak. It is Kamen Rider Zets. Welcome into the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan for this week. We are looking at episode 5, which will be a nice little bow on the current two-parter, which is, of course, dealing with the Minister of Affairs' daughter. We speculated last week that she is afraid of heights, but she's also going through a wedding. She's in real life. She's having a wedding. There's a lot of other things have been thrown around, but it's a backdrop to the major issue that she is afraid of heights, as the nightmare is a crow and tried to get her to fall through a building, which would have achieved it had not have been for Zetz rescuing her in the dream. So we are now come to the realization that the dreamer is the bride, obviously, because we thought it was somebody else, but we know it's the bride. And now here we are. And so this is what we're going to watch today. We're going to see how that turns apart. I had my theories last week, if you guys recall. Before we do start, I do want to elaborate that I will not be showing the episode on the stream, as Toei is very, very much uh, keeping their eyes on things in regards to copyright. We've already had 2 episodes taken down, and one. Well, no, I had 1 episode that I had to edit, and then I had to take down 1 episode because Toei themselves took down an episode because I showed the episode. So I now have a copyright strike on my account, so I can't take any chances. So I show a blurred episode. I don't show the episode itself. So just for in case you're new here, you're wondering how we do things here. So we have a cinema screen that I will jump to when we get closer. That will jump over, but it will have the video blurred out. So I would encourage you to please, please, please watch the main feed, which I will be putting in the chat right now. So if you're watching me right now, when the episode comes around, I would much prefer that you please go watch the main simulcast. I will put the link here in the chat. Excuse me, one moment. My nose. Simulcast feed. So please, if you are watching the show, please make sure to watch the feed and then either have me in the background or just watch the episode and then come back to the feed, come back here so we can do our post-show analysis. Because ultimately, I would much rather that the actual simulcast get the numbers. I don't really need you guys to be watching me when the episode goes on. I would much rather y'all come back for the post, right? So please, 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 if you're not on that feed right now, start watching that feed, please. So anyway, I have my speculations about last week. I speculated that pretty much everything I just laid out. I speculated that the marriage thing with the dream, that's a backdrop. It's a red herring. It has nothing to do with her nightmare. It's just there because that is like her recent thing. Like, she has her own thing, but like getting married to this guy is not the nightmare that like will trigger everything. Now, I could be proven wrong. Again, it's a speculative thing. I could be proven wrong, But for the most part, I think it's just I think it's just a backdrop, right? I don't think it's anything that will cause the doors to open. It's just an aside thing, right? Like the B plot, if you will. The A plot is her fear of heights, right? Because she's afraid of something, which I think we're going to elaborate more into this, especially once if we're going by the preview. Um, Baku will encounter her. Will encounter her in the real world and like tell him the story. So to me, I think it's just. I think again the wedding has nothing to do with it. I just think it's just the framing because it just happens to be there, right? So I believe personally that yeah, like the wedding has nothing to do with it. It's her fear of heights. The wedding is a B plot to the main story. So I think if we get right down to it, um, there's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a whole thing, right? But I think if I'm bold, because here's the thing, we know because of uh the panel that they did at LA Comic Con last week, they announced that episode 6 is going to be about Nem, right? They're going to start teasing that this episode, right? There's going to be slight teases. And I'm not talking about the end episode thing. They're going to start elaborating on a few, like not directly, but kind of hinting at a few things about Nem in this episode before they go full into episode 6. Now, I don't know what this means for episode 6, but I think we'll get into that at the end, obviously, because once we watch everything, it'll kind of like tie it all in, right? But for the most part, I do want to point out that they're going to start throwing little things leading into episode 6 in the episode itself today. That's what I believe. That is what I genuinely believe. So, but that being said, I think today we're just going to tie the bow on it and then we're just going to like we're going to find out that yeah, her big fear that could open the door is her fear of heights, which leads me to believe just by the episode's name it is actually that she fell out of that tree that was teased. She fell out of that tree, was brutally injured. So the thing that would open the second door would be her hitting the floor, right, and getting injured. That was my theory for last episode. That's what I think we're going to see. So I do believe that is what we have to look forward to in this episode. And I'm looking over at the main simulcast. They've announced that it's going to start 4 minutes after the hour. So at 7:34 is when we are getting the 7:34 is when the episode starts. So it's going to start a little later. Because right now they're running episode 4. They literally run the first 4 episodes right before episode 5. So yeah, they're showing the last 6 minutes. I have it right here up. So I do love that this is how they're doing it now. They're running all the other episodes before the new episode. I love that. It's a great way for people to like tune in and catch up. I think that's really good. I think that's quite frankly a really smart idea. I really do like that that's a smart idea. And it looks like I could be wrong, but we'll see after this episode. It could be that now, after the episode airs, they upload the episode directly to the channel, right? So they're gonna like marathoning it, I think. So it's gonna be interesting. Which honestly, oh, if ZETZ is code number 7, I wonder when we'll see codes 1 through 6. Okay, that's interesting. K7, I think if we're going by again, I'll talk about it at the end, but just to touch on it here, K7 I think is going to be something interesting because it's going to be the second part of the Nem saga, so we're going to see like what they do with that. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. All right, we are a couple of minutes away. I have the stream up. I have it muted right now. I will be switch. You know what? Let's get over to the cinema. Let's get over to the cinema screen. Let's get over there. Oh, shoot, I have to like redo this. Hold on, I forgot. There we go. So yeah, they're showing the previous episode, so we're waiting. We're waiting. Yeah, so I have it muted right now because we've already seen this episode, so don't really need to have the audio playing. But I will unmute it once I see we're getting into the next episode. I'm assuming they're still going to do the countdown. That's what I'm assuming. That is what I'm assuming. So if you guys haven't, please click on the link, on the pinned comment in the link to go watch the main simulcast. You can have me on the background or not. I would just appreciate if y'all would come back after the episode is over so we can do our post discussion. I think that would be fun. So you don't have to stay here, but if you do, I would appreciate it. But you know, if you really want to see the episode, I would state head over to the pinned link. That'll take you over to the main simulcast over with our boys at Tokusatsu. So please, 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 please. I am so okay. Like episode 5, this gonna be heat. This is gonna be heat. I'm ready. I'm ready. I am ready. I'm ready, baby. Let's do this. Speculativeness is speculative. Because I have fun not only watching the episode, but after speculating with everyone in chat, I love it. I love it. And there goes. Also, I wonder who does the sound design for this, because like it's been very interesting the sounds that they choose for certain things. It's always been really interesting to me. Like, I don't think I would ever hear that sound anywhere in real life. Yeah, I hear sounds that they're like get used a lot here. You know what I'm finding out? I just realized looking back at that episode, that part where Miyuki flies in front of Baku, like when he's hanging off of the tree, his helmet looks different. I think maybe that that was the stunt helmet and they forgot to like swap it out or something. I'm just noticing that. Because it looks kind of bulkier, I think. I'm not certain. It's always worth a second look, you know? Oh, and I gotta figure. I want to know how they get. I want to know how the PAD actually get into ZEZTZ's base. I want to know how they do that. Yeah. Okay. That helmet in that scene looks different. All right. Here we go. Let's get ready. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Run through the preview really quick, like, please. Here we go, people. Get ready. I'm assuming there's going to be a countdown. Yep, there it is. All right, everybody get hype. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm going to leave that muted until the countdown ends because it's just music and I don't want to have to like play the filler, you know? Come on. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. All right, here we go. He's on a mission, baby. He's on a mission.
一連の悪夢を見ていた夢主に気づいてしまった。まさか夢主は花嫁。
protect the VIP bride.
Protect the VIP bride.
Hell yeah. Good luck. Oh, flying segment. Dogfight. Dogfight. Woo. Ah, he's coming back. And now we bend reality. The realization is kicking in. Okay, I think he's jumping to the conclusion that she wished for that. He's jumping to that conclusion really quick because the nightmare is not something she creates, right? The nightmare we've already kind of established is a disease. So the fact that he's saying, I can't believe you're the one wishing for this, that doesn't click. That doesn't click. I think he's still operating under that Fujimi wanted that nightmare. I think he's still operating under that knowledge. This isn't something that she is actually manifesting. At least I don't think. I could be assuming incorrectly, but again, I think he's working under that impression like, yo, no. In this case, that's out of her control, I think. I think that's out of her control, and he's misassuming. So I think right off the bat there, my boy, you're jumping to conclusions there really fast. Back down. God, this intro kicks, man. All the ass. So good. Like, okay, you can't convince me that this character was not meant to aura farm, because this, like, his stance, he is the epitome of aura farming. Like, literally, ZEZTZ is the epitome of aura farming. Oh, Nem is the one confronting. Oh, they don't realize it. So it's not, okay, so she's not trying to get out of the wedding, she's just nervous about it. Up the tree. And he wakes up with the camera. That's... Okay, no, he's still working under that. He's still working under that impression that she doesn't want to get married. But she said she's nervous, so it could be either or. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, ZEZTZ-udan.
Wait, how did you? Of course he. Okay, they climbed in through the fucking window. You fuck. They climbed in through the window. And he's out like a log.
いくら捜査のためとはいえ、これは明らかな不法侵入です。課長。
だが想像以上の収穫だ。クローゼットの奥にこんな隠し部屋があるとは。よろずだ。君は何者だ。言い逃れはできないですか。
Ah, they got him cornered to rights, baby.
いや、そう。何者って聞かれましても。
Oh, there it is!
信じなさありません。
おい、何をコソコソしている。
はい。
Oh god, here comes.
実は俺、極秘防衛機関コードに所属しているエージェントなんです。
エージェント。
この世の悪を撲滅するために活動してまして。
は
They don't believe him.
あなたがそんな話信じられない。
そうだったのか。信じるんですか。
え？
いや、一見普通の青年が極秘機関のエージェント。ありえない話じゃない。交通事故の怪我がありえない速さで感知したのも、人と同じ夢を見られるのも、特殊な訓練を受けていたからだ。
Yeah, no, okay, you know what?
君は何と戦っている？ナイトメアか。そうだろう。
Nagumo!
クルメ薬。さすが公安。やば。
バッグ入るよ。
何してんの？
あ、いや、その衣替えの洋服出そうかなって。
あ、今日ロケで早く出なきゃいけないから朝ごはん食べちゃってくれる？
Wait, what?
いただきます。
いや、なんで俺の部屋で。
魚焼くの失敗してリビングで作
よりによってなんでこんな時に。
はい？明日から1ヶ月当番やる？
いや、どうぞごゆっくり。
どうやら自分がエージェントであることは家族にも隠しているらしいな。
そうですか。
They're just in there with Zero. They're just in there with him.
これは。
食事中に見ない。てか何そのカメラ？何見てんの？
いや、これはその借り物で。
He's not doing a great job, I'm gonna be honest with you.
どれ？ああ、ジョギングコースの公園？
Oh, he walked by there!
そうか。やっぱ南すごいな。
だってこの木昔からあるじゃん。見たら
He's never paid attention to the tree.
パスポート取れたんだよね。披露宴の翌日は予定通りチャーター機でニューヨークに飛んで知人と会食がある。
Okay, we're getting a little backstory here with the wedding.
現地の式場と打ち合わせして。どうした？何か心配事でもあるのか？
Tell him! Something's bugging you, come on!
楽しみだね。
You lying, why you lying? Why you lying? You be stressing out, Ming!
ちょっと何すっかり馴染んでんですか。今後は我々が君の任務を。
Y'all know you're drinking gas, right?
私はまだ信じていませんが。
その代わり君が手に入れた情報は共有してもらうぞ。ナイトメアの実態を解明することが我々開示課の目的だからな。
はあ。とりあえずこの部屋、紅茶によく似た燃料置いてあるんで。
There it is.
調査資料を拝見させてもらいました。任務は朝宮外務大臣の娘みゆきの護衛。宝田財閥の御曹司後期との結婚式が間近に控えているようですが。
教会に散乱したガラスの羽はナイトメアの仕業だな。
どうしてそれを？
ブラックケースが起きてな。ナイトメアは何をした？
Like, this feels weird.
夢をさらおうとしたんです。
やはり夢は情報の宝庫だな。ナスカ、両家の関係者を洗うぞ。
だから下の名前は親にしか呼ばせません。課長。
You could have just walked out the front door. You could have just walked out the front door. What are you doing? That's fucking hilarious. I want to believe the sister does get involved at some point. However, there's an ongoing theory with the sister that I want to talk on later. There's an ongoing theory with her. That I have, at least. I don't know if everyone else has had this theory, but I have a theory.
どこかでお会いしました。
忘れちゃいました。
すみません。
Yeah, memory in dreams is not going to be that great, so.
この木に何か思い出でもあるんですか？
ええ、まあ忘れたくても忘れられなくて。
Now we're piecing it together. Come on. What happened?
いい思い出じゃないんですね。
What happened?
私の人生を変えてしまった
You
んです。
fell from the tree. Please let it be she fell from the tree. That's my theory here. No. Ah, you didn't give. Damn it. Why? They're already taking over. Like, Zero should just show up.
こちらの調査によると、新郎の父親は朝宮大臣の後援会会長で利益供与をめぐる疑惑があります。それから朝宮みゆきと土井一平の関係を示す興味深い出来事がありました。
Y'all got Wi-Fi in here? あ、
あの木だ。
15年前、里の森公園で木登りをしていた当時中学生のみゆきが転落する事故があって、
転落？
Yep, she fell.
土井一
Called
平も
it.
救出され、一命を取り留めています。
さすが怖。ゼロの言った通りだ。
黒い関係による純白の結婚式。そして命の恩師は初
I'm
恋の
okay.
君が
Hmm.
この事件読めた。え？みゆきは政略結婚に従うしかなかったが、本当は幼馴染の土井一平との純愛を望んでいた。だからみゆきは結婚を望んでいなかったんだ。
私の人生を変えてしまったんです。
Okay, you tied it back. You know what they tied it back? I'm
みゆきさん
leaning.
の悩みは本当にそのことなんでしょうか？
Wait.
本当かどうか、夢でそれを突き止めるのが君の務め。
Wow. Okay, Fujimi. Okay, you alright. Alright.
ないんですか？自称エージェントなのに。
俺は
Wait, why'd it get darker in there? Oh, dude, you're in the real life, but we're doing dream transitions. What are you
あらゆ
doing?
る条件は整っている。あとは君の心一つで
Or is this just in your head right
本
now?
物のエージェントになれるんだよ。
Like, again, it's so weird. Motherfucker, you know the plot before it happens.
俺は
I am Nostradamus of Kamen Rider.
正真正銘コードナンバー7だ。
I'm motherfucking Nostradamus, baby. So, the thing is, I kind of lean into Fujimi's logic, but I also believe that,
結婚式は
昨日無事終わって、
wait, what?
今日から二人はハネムーンですよ。
Wait, what?
じゃあナイトメアの悪魔はまだ全て
Plane! 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 I just clicked in my head, plane!
その答えは花嫁の深層心理の世界にあるはず。
そんなのどこに？
俺の予感が正しければ。
That cowlick, man. So in her mind, the wedding end. That's crazy to think about.
やっぱり
I love that that has doorknobs on both ends. That's not gonna get confusing at all. Yep, there's only two doors. So this was the first one. So the second one would either have to be an impact. But wait, but she was saved, so there was never an impact. Plane! Called it! Plane! I called it!
まさか
She has a fear. I called this last week. A fear of heights and a fear of flying.
Choose your destination.
このダイヤルか。
I fucking called that shit. It wasn't the wedding that she didn't want it.
緊張していて 人生で初めてのことなので
Oh, and you see him piecing it together.
変えてしまったんです。
彼女は高所恐怖症で飛行機に乗ることを恐れていたんだ。
Then, the nightmare that's about to happen is...
飛行機墜落。
A plane
何と
crash.
しても止めないと。
See, I mean, that's a real fucking fear. Oh god, this is gonna get crazy real fast. Where to burn? We don't have time. Henshin, quick! He's about to take off. Oh god, no, don't. Please don't let it be just that opens the door. I'm gonna be so pissed. Oh no, no, it's turning. It's turning! You bitch. Stop it! Please tell me your time to stop the door from opening, please!
Protect the VIP bride.
Do it, baby! Let's go! God, I want a CSM of that belt so fucking bad, man. I want a CSM! Like, I don't want, I mean, I'll probably get the toy one, but I want a CSM because I want it more elaborate. Like, come on.
Henshin!
Man, spin to win, baby. Like, not even main form, just straight to wing form. Just straight there. Just straight in. Let's go, baby. Wing. Quiero. Wait, can he? Okay, now hopefully we answer in this episode if the door can be closed. That's what we need to figure out here. There he goes. Right into the drink. Motherfucker, call me. Sorry, I looked over the chat and like hacking in it. Oh god. If you can pull up this. Wait. Blue cap some time. Oh yeah, baby. Air form. He cannot beat Airman. Come on, air currents, baby. Bring it back up, let's go! Oh, this is some Sonic Riders shit right there. This is some Sonic Riders shit. Dream physics, baby! Quiero! Come on, say it! Say Oh yeah! Just wave them off! Fuck you! Air cage! Gun finisher, let's go! Say it! Say the word! Ah, no triple sevens. No triples. Ah, that's disappointing. Oh, that is beautiful. I love it. Shoot the butterfly! What are you doing?
Mission complete.
Does the door... Do we see a graph of the door closing back? Nah, we don't see it. You did it, man. You did it.
ありがとう。ハネムーン変更してくれて。
あんな悪い夢の話を聞いたら飛行機なんて乗せられるわけないだろ。
See, that is a good husband. Look at that. That is a good-ass husband. Hey, man.
おめでとう。
見事に推理外れましたね。
純愛を諦めてもいいのか。本人が幸せなら。
You know what?
誰？
I'm sorry, that's fucking funny. He just walked up and said that, and, like, he didn't even think about it till later. That's fucking great. Alright, Nox, what you up to? What you thinking?
肉体、文明、
Wait, what?
精神、
Lore! Holy crap, lore!
次元。この世界のあらゆるものは崩壊の定めにある。
Breakdown. Lore, baby! Wait,
我々を除いてな。
except for us? Wait!
ネム、
Wait! What are you?
Escape with all the prisoners.
What?
Your next mission.
Excuse what? Hello, Nox and Nox knows them. What is?
Kamen Rider Z.
ここは脱出不可能な死の監獄。
誰だお前。
私にだって言いたくないことくらいある。
We're gonna learn about Nem's
出
past.
会った時から輝いてた。
お前にミッションの邪魔はさせない。
Beautiful shit. Beautiful. Oh my god. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think, but Nox knows them somehow. What is this? Hold up. Hold up. We need to dissect this. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. We need to dissect this. We need to dissect this. Holy, I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all. Holy fuck. So, Nox knows Nem. There's history there. There's history. Ugh, I'm biting my finger like, ugh. Oh, there's history. Oh, how you doing, Scruffin? How you doing? I saw you type it through the and I can't believe I called that shit. So, before we actually start getting speculative here, because there's a lot to speculate now with that little tidbit there at the end. I called it, man. I called it. My prediction pretty much came through. I want to tell you details I noticed about it. By all means, type them up, man. Type them up. But I called it. I called it. Did I or did I not say that the wedding had nothing to do with it? It was a backdrop to the main story. I called that shit. It was her fear of falling and then a fear of flying. I literally called that in the last episode. I called that shit. I am the Nostradamus of Kamen Rider. Hell yeah. Call me. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a fun pun. Call me Kamen Rider Nostra. That's what it is. I was the detective. Wrong theory. So no, because Well, here's so anyway, that is I called that shit. I'm gonna be fucking real with you. But you know what? I'm not gonna take full credit because I think we all collectively as a chat, as a group, came up with that shit. I'm not gonna take full credit on that. And not to mention a lot of y'all, a lot of like debate points help us get to that theory. And so ultimately I'm not gonna take full credit for that. I'll take 50% and then I will let you guys in chat distribute the theories amongst themselves, you know what I mean? But oh my god, that is some good stuff there, baby. Good stuff. I was like when she talks about the profession, she talks about them being something she was learning by acting. Hmm. Hmm. Like she plays a role, she plays it to a hilt. That's something about in this episode she didn't know about basic dream stuff. But here's the thing. Okay, hold on. Before we get into that. So basically, call me Kamen Rider Nostra how I be predicting this shit. But regardless though, I won't take full credit for that. So let's get into this episode was just real good, and I do like how they tied everything together. I do like that Fujimi's theory was what everyone expected. Hold on. Ugh. I love how Fujimi's theory was how we as the viewer would normally perceive that, but Baku is starting to learn that things are not always how they seem on the surface, right? Like they have like started to like piece together, right? These started to piece together that it's deeper than what you would think. Now, I would say that like Fujimi was kind of good in most of the theory up until the end conclusion. And that's when pretty much he starts, but then like when he gets to the end point, he's kind of off. So ultimately it comes down to Baku realizing there's more to it than just the superficial determination, right? So to me, it's this whole thing of like you kind of get two perspectives, right? Yeah, she seemed happy. Like how the subconscious and the mind. So basically, it's like Baku can only like piece together what he got from the PSD or the Paranormal Affairs Division, the PAD. I don't know why it was translated to PSB. I don't know why. I'm going to assume the subtitler typoed. It's the PAD. But to my determination is that my determination is that it provides us with two ends of the spectrum. It provides us with what the common man would determine, that's Fujimi, and then what Baku needs to piece together as the secret agent. Because he is actively in the dream, so he has more context. So I do actively like that we're getting two possibilities, and then it's up to us as the viewer to determine what it is. You know? I do like that. The show is challenging our preconceived notions of decision making and following threads. It challenges the viewer to pay attention to little things. So I love that. I love that. The show is challenging us to be a little smarter, right, than the people in the show to try to figure out where the story goes. And Fujimi found info that Baku couldn't get. Exactly. So again, it's real life investigation, but it's all, how do I put this? It's all grounded in reality. So there are aspects of the dream, there are aspects of the investigation that only the PAD, oh no, it would be the PA, yeah, no, the PAD, that would be the only, that's the only information that they can get, right? Because things like dream physics and things of that sort, can't piece it together, right? So it's ultimately the subconscious pulls from things that are happening in the moment, right? But also there's dream logic, right? So, and plus you can't understand the thoughts of a person that is dreaming within the real world. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way from an investigation perspective the PAD, Nagumo and Fujimi, would understand what's going through the bride's mind. All they would be able to know is the facts surrounding the person. That's all they can figure out. So ultimately, what it comes down to is Baku has that information from the PAD, but also has the information directly from the dreamer's subconscious. So you're able to, like, Baku is literally the thread, but the way that he figures things out, it's up to us to figure it out beforehand as viewers, right? We can piece these things together before Baku even gets there, and we're rewarded when Baku figures it out because we figured it out. So it's kind of a great reward there to reward the viewer, and only to have it confirmed when Baku pieces it together and to see him piece it together, it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. That being said, I think right now we have a mountain of an investigation to piece together. And it's going to be difficult with Nem because Nem is not someone in the public eye, right? What I mean by that is, yes, she's a public figure and she's everywhere, but her physically is not in the public eye. Like, her physical body has not been shown in the show. She's either there in a commercial, in an advertisement, or in a dream. She is not physically been present in the show. So how do Fujimi and Nagumo investigate that? Is she a muse? That is currently the prevailing theory. That is the prevailing theory. Um, she's an idea, right? Because here's the thing: if we're taking into account what was said at the LA Comic Con panel by the producer, we need to take into account that she is a female protagonist created by Takahashi. And what is Takahashi's main thing with the lead female character? She is always a deus ex machina. At least that's the fandom. That's the fandom perception. But, like, she is always, the female protagonist is always an important plot point, right? I don't know if in his mind he actually uses the term deus ex machina, but if we're to be generalize it, I would say that all female protagonists in Yuya Takahashi works are always important plot points, right? Or they are or they contain the power, or are the tide turner, so to speak. Think like she seems to escape the forecast. Yeah, she seems to exist out of reality, which, if you think about it, Baku kind of in a way does too, because of his lucid dreaming. He kind of escapes that kind of stuff, right? Except for no, wait, well, he has a body, so yeah, you know what? No. Actually, no. She actually literally does escape the four categories. But Baku can control the four categories, obviously, as we're going to see later on. So he's kind of an enigma in and of itself, right? He embodies all four. Hold on. What is that? Sorry, I really. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, so we're kind of like starting to dig a little bit into what Baku and Nem's like significance is, right? So, but that being said, we need to focus down specifically on what Nem is, because how do you get into the nightmare of someone? Because if we're looking at it like that, someone who transcends those four elements, how do you get into their dream, right? There's no body, there's no mind. How do you get in there? How do you get into the dream of someone who is for all intents and purposes, she could be an AI construct for all we know. I don't know. Could be. I mean, I don't think she's an AI construct because again, how would an AI dream? Which again, we're getting into like a whole thing, right? Like we're getting into like Steven Spielberg's AI territory levels of thinking. Maybe the captions he gets are based on the dream he's in. Also, I don't think the dreams he gets in were considered to be normal dreams. Yeah, you know what? I would believe that the nightmares manipulate the dream. Wouldn't that be technology if she was at? But that raises the question, can an AI dream? That is the big question here. Can an AI dream? Because again, that's why I'm saying we're getting into Steven Spielberg's AI territory, because that was the crux of that entire movie. Can an AI dream? Right? And like obviously it's implied that that Haley Joel Osment's character at the end of that movie can dream. It's implied, but never truly confirmed, right? Can an AI dream? That is an interesting question because here's the thing. If you look at how an AI generates content, right? It is very much similar to how we as people dream, right? Or even think, right? Someone, I don't remember, I saw this years ago. Someone had done, like, had figured out a way to analyze people's brain waves, and literally they tested it by analyzing someone's brain after they had just seen, like, an action movie or something, right? Basically, they show them, like, different genres of movies and then had them try to, like, recreate the movie in their brain. And if you, like, see, like, and I'm not talking like current AI. Current AI is getting like super scary at how well it does stuff. If you remember early AI, how everything looked like horribly disfigured and things like sort, right? That's how brainwaves interpreted things. There was never a clear picture, right? It could never clearly interpret everything. It was literally taking bits and pieces of things that it had witnessed and try to force them together into a coherent image. So in an essence, AI right now is kind of I don't want to say it's dangerously reaching sentience, but it's getting pretty advanced to the point where it can actually form coherent thought, right? So if we're following that line of logic, this could be the case of an advanced AI that actually has the capability to dream, right? That could be a real thing, right? So ultimately, it would be interesting if Nem was an AI. Hell, the name screams it, right? NEM. Though I don't know if I agree with you, but this episode showed me you might have the gift of prophecy. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not even. This is me theorizing. Again, I don't think this is what it is, but I'm going off the logic that we're assuming that she is transcended, that Nem exists outside of the four elements, but I don't think like it's a theory to keep in the back pocket, but not one I'm willing to bank fully on. You know what I mean? If we're to assume though, if we're our Nem is similar to our, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Nem is very similar to REM, right? Because it could be a state of being, because REM is a state of subconscious, right? When REM kicks in, that's when your subconscious starts taking over. So it could be that she exists, maybe even not even as an AI. Maybe she's a person that exists in a constant state of REM, right? Maybe not like, you know what? I hate to say it. I hate to say it, and I just had this thought. And I don't know if they're willing to go this far. Actually, you know what? Maybe Takahashi would go this far. I don't know, but I just had a theory. and it's a crazy theory. It doesn't really make sense in the long term, but thinking about it, it kind of tracks, but there's still some plot holes to this particular theory I'm about to throw out. What if Nem is in a coma? She's a comatose patient, right? Now, that's a little outlandish because, again, if she's comatose, how's she in all this shit? How is she in all these commercials and shit? I don't know how to tie that in. But I feel like a person she was in a coma from birth. Maybe not from birth, because here's the thing. They do touch on her childhood in the preview. But thinking in her dream, right? Obviously, we've come to the conclusion that the setting and everything is normally not... I mean, there's the ability that it doesn't really have an influence in the story. Like, as we did with this episode, the wedding was a simple backdrop. But if we take, like, Fujimi's, for example, everything around it was a backdrop until we got to the police bombings themselves, like the police car, the police precinct, the main office, things of that sort. The prison in the next episode, could actually be very much a prison of Nem's own design, because she's been in a coma for so long and has never been able to escape the dream world, that the world around her became a prison. I might be onto something here. Am I confident in that? Not that much. Maybe 65, 70%. No, actually, you know what? That's too much. I'll say 50-50. I'm 50-50 on it, right? Because, again, it's been proven that the prison, that, like, the location and everything normally doesn't have to play. It can, though. And a prison for a celebrity could mean that, she's famous and everything. She can't get out because she's in the paparazzi. So her fame could be a prison. But the fact that she's able to appear in other people's dreams and knows other people in other people's dreams, to me, that's someone that's in a coma, right? Because if she is deep enough in dreams for so long that she's realized she's in a dream and transcended beyond dreams to go into other people's dreams, because she really does appear in everyone's dreams, it leads me to believe she's in a coma. But then the question remains, who is this girl that appears in all the commercials? Which brings it back to AI. There's no other logical way to say it. The Nem that we see in advertisements is an AI generated figment of imagination. They took her likeness and made her into a fucking star while she's in a fucking coma. The biggest star in the world is an AI generated figment that literally appears everywhere in ads because she's in everyone's dreams. So they made an AI version of her to be in all the ads. But in the dreams, she's everywhere. And if anything, this one's a little out there, but if anything, the fact that they use this AI version of her and she's everywhere makes her live in everyone's conscious longer, which is how she's able to get into everyone's dreams, right? Because it kind of like grants her a power. The fact that she's everywhere, everyone sees her, so she ends up in people's dreams. It gives her the power to go into everyone's dreams, right? So what do you do what do you do when you're a coma patient and you can just go into people's dreams? People see you as a celebrity of sorts in real life. So what do? You play into that. You're an actress. You play it to the hilt, which is her thing. Plays her role to the hilt, depending on what the dream requests of her. Do robots dream of electric sheep? I've heard that before, I think. I think it's too early for her to be her dream, but it could be from someone she knows. Here's the thing. If it was someone she knows, it feels weird to be asking about her past then, right? Wait, I just realized. Hold on. Body, mind realization. No. Body, mind, real. No. Body, cultivation, mind, reality. Oh my god, that just clicked. Something akin to palaces in Persona 5 where there are special locations created from the victim in the nightmare. Yeah, that tracks. I just realized something. The 4 elements are mind, cultivation, body, reality. That is literally the steps for the nightmare to achieve to escape to the real world. They enter the mind, they cultivate themselves by opening the doors, then they take over the body and enter reality. Those body, technology, spirit, and paradigm. No, it said body, cultivation. Yeah, it said body, cultivation, mind, and reality. That's what it said. I just looked over like he was. I looked at the Knox scene again. That's what it said. I might let me. Also, what translation? Oh wait, are you? You don't watch the English video? Are you watching like what, the Spanish video, or which one do you want? What region are you watching it in? Hold on, let me see if I can back up here a little bit. South America. Ah, español. Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Hold on. Body. Civilization. Civilization. Never mind. Wait, but okay. Red is body, which is impact. Blue is civilization, which is stream. Interesting. Oh, Portuguese. Okay. So it says body, civilization, mind, and reality. Okay, so that throws that throws that logic I was on out the window. That throws that logic out the window because I don't know what civilization would mean in this instance. Unless it would be like terrorizing the populace. Because what you do in the mind, in the body, in the mind, I don't know. It's out of order. Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna jump off that logic train I was on. I'm not gonna try to justify that because now it makes no sense. Calls mind doors soul doors. I mean, to be honest, Latino, obviously when you're translating from Japanese direct to another language, there's more open to interpretation, right? Serían puertas de la mente, be like mind doors, but it's going to be open interpretation, but I think like the general basis is the same, right? Soul doors, mind doors is ultimately opening up. Yeah, it ultimately is leading to the same place, which is control of the body, right? Though I find it interesting that it didn't translate it that. It has to do with progress. So that could have been. So technology, though, is weird, though, that it's there. Tecnología. It's weird that it's there in light of civilization. That's weird. But I digress. So I want to put my foot down on a specific theory, but I'm trying to nail it down. Because here's the thing. We're speculating. We're speculating, right? So I feel like maybe the coma thing might be like, here's the thing. The coma thing might be a little bit too outlandish, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I do kind of like, but here's the thing. It could still come true because, again, the whole point of this is for us to speculate what's coming, right? Now, Would it be weird for a person who's been in a coma since they were a child to have this power? Not really. It would make sense, but it still doesn't lead a lot of things. I feel like those kind of aspects of the story don't need to be that outlandish. But as we saw with this episode, sometimes the obvious answer is not the correct answer, right? Capsules are part of series, and this was confirmed. Yeah, because I would assume, I mean, we have the Red series, right? We have the Red series, we have Impact, we have Transform, and we have Wing, right? Which I find weird that Wing is part of the Red series, which I thought was weird. Because Wing would make more sense with the Blue series. So I find it weird that that was made to a Red series one, right? I'd love to know what the logic is of that. I wonder what the logic of that is. So, okay. Let me take a moment to think about this for a second. What do I want to go with here in terms of a theory? What do I want to go with here? Because I have to think about this for a second. What is the logic jump? I don't think they wanted to make the wings organic. Are you sure that's what you? So they made it out of cape. Huh. I don't know if that would be the right answer for that, but I digress. So let me think about this. What do I want to go with, right? So here's okay. How do I don't Transform has gauntlets and yeah. Body. That's what it is. Because Impact is the body itself, and then Transform has the gauntlets and the boots. And yeah, so that's literally like body. It literally lines up. Body as the Red series. So cultivation is So cultivation, actually I think it would be the port, because now I think about it, maybe technology is a better fit than civilization is a better fit, because again, he's getting the crane arm in the next one. So, no, okay. Chat. How do we feel about the idea of Nem being a coma patient? How do we feel about it? Right? How do we feel about that particular theory? Isn't cultivation related to... No, it wasn't cultivation, it was civilization. Like people. La civilización. Right? Civilización. It's talking about people. So, but then hearing that in Portuguese was technology, and then seeing how that lines up with the orbs, that cultivation related soul stuff, the green one. The green one, though, is mind. And purple is reality. At least I think. If we're going clockwise. But yeah, but Chad, going back to what I was saying. How do we feel about the coma theory? How do we feel about Nem being a coma patient? Like, do you buy into that? Do you feel like that is do you feel like that is something that like they would do? Because I kind of don't want to like put my foot down on that one 100%. Like I kind of don't want to put my hand on that one, my foot down on that one 100%. Because it's what makes the most sense to me, but I feel like a coma patient, like that's not something. I mean, to be fair, if she's a celebrity, they can easily hide that. If she's a celebrity, and it wouldn't be the most fucked up thing I've heard. Green AI copy of a girl who died? Okay, I don't think Takahashi would go that far. I genuinely don't think he would go that far. Because I feel again, death is not something that you would normally, portray like that. Like if a writer dies, like, okay, that's one thing. But to say that a writer is someone that is dead already, that's because here's the thing: there have been writers that show up like in V cinemas and shit that are dead in canon. Like that's a thing. But to already start the canon with someone that is dead, that's unheard of. That's unheard of. I feel like that is too out of the realm of possibility, even for Takahashi, who could like throw that in there. Like I don't know. I don't buy that. However, wait, wait, wait. Hold on. I just had to process that last one, going in the Astro Boy route. Bird Nightmares inspired by ghosts. That's the prevailing theory. The thing is, though, is a lot of people point to that belt, and like they didn't even notice that Bomb Nightmare had that belt. So it's like no. But yeah, I could see Bird Nightmare. I mean, I do see there's definitely a ghost inspired, though. Like you can't if you look at like from Dead On. Yeah, I could see the Bird Nightmare being ghost. But anyway, I had to think about that Astro Boy line. Gun Nightmare, I still stand on Gun Nightmare being inspired by Vice. Because, again, if you look at his pants, he's got the Vice stamp pattern. He's got the Vice stamp pattern. So, like, I stand on that. A lot of people say he's inspired by Geets. No, I stand on him being inspired by Vice. But, again, I digress. I had to think about that Astro Boy line. And, have they ever done a writer who was an AI? Oh no, wait, no, I'm stupid. 0-1. I'm sorry, I had a moment. Yeah, they did that with 0-1. Because technically, all the writers that were AI in that were evil. And I can't even say that Izu counts because she merged with Naruto in that. And any like Humagears becoming good writers was no. As a matter of fact, I've never seen a good Humagear become. Wait, yeah, I've never seen a good Humagear become a writer. They always have like they've already been infected or they were evil, or I don't think I've ever seen a good Humagear turn into a common writer. So that doesn't mean that it can't happen. That doesn't mean that it can't happen. So, but I don't know. I don't know. The problem though is that we haven't really established that like an AI robot can be a thing in this world, right? There's no precedent for it in this world. So I don't know if they would go that far. No, no, human robot. Not humanoid, like a human robot, like a robot that actually looks like can pass for a human being. Zero is a proxy, right? Zero is being controlled remotely, so he's not a full-on autonomous robot. Zero is an actual person controlling a robot from afar, maybe with a VR headset or something. An actual AI with its own level, that looks like a human being with its own level of thought, that hasn't been established. You have a theory about Zero. What's the theory? Is he Mr. House? Oh God, what if he is? He's a brain in a jar. When we were on episode 3. That's actually kind of, you know what? Well, I mean, maybe I don't know. Anyway, let me hear that theory while I speculate here. Okay, I need to land on something. I thought he was lying about being remote controlled. Why would he lie about that though? Why would would he lie about that? Like why? Why would he lie about that? That seems like a weird thing to lie about. So far, all nightmares were object-based. So you think he might secretly be a nightmare that's turned to good and he's using the transformation as an excuse? The problem though is that at the time, okay, no, so that theory got ended up debunked. Yeah, well, I love when we speculate on the show. I really love the post show because we get to throw out crazy ideas, and I love it. But yeah, thinking about it, okay. I think I will say out of the several theories that we've thrown out, coma patient is the one I believe in the most. Coma patient is what I believe in the most. And Nox has a driver. The powers being related to bad guys or ex-bad guys. Is it really though? The thing is, though, I don't want to think too far into Zero's thing, because here's the thing. There's a good chance at some point Zero will be affected by a nightmare. And do I truly believe this? No. I mean, I feel like no. Let me take that back. I do believe this, though I don't know in what way it would play out. But I believe Zero will become a victim of a nightmare at some point. I digress. Again, let's get back to he's inspired by Takeshi. Okay, maybe we're shooting too far out here. We're shooting too far out here, right? Not to mention I'm running low on time. So let's go ahead and narrow it down to what I think is going to happen in episode 6, right? So we know. Here's what we know. Let's piece it together. We know that it's about Nem. Next episode is about Nem, right? So by knowing that and looking at the preview, we have to assume that Nem. This is Nem's dream. Nox is setting her sights on Nem for some reason. So I'm not 100% on it. I'm going to leave the other theories of like her being an actual person, her being an AI, all that stuff. I'm going to leave those. Those I'm going to leave open to interpretation. So if they end up happening, I'll still claim victory on those. But I'm going to go with the one that for some reason is making the most sense to me. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm not going to be like defeated or anything, because here's the thing. It's just going to be more exciting for me if I got it wrong, because it like subverts my expectations. But the one theory that I believe in the most is the coma patient theory. And we may not even find that out in the next episode. We might not find that out until episode 7, which someone said in the group in the chat on the Tokusatsu feed. Someone said that episode 7 would be super special. If that is the episode where Nem becomes a writer, would be hella interesting. But again, I'm not going to predict that far. Let's just stay grounded with episode 6. I'm going to run with the theory that Nem is in a coma. And she's been in a coma for a minute. Right? I'm going to run with that theory. And I'm going to add the AI thing on top of it, right? So she's in a coma, and an AI represents her in every ad. That's what I'm thinking. It might not be that convoluted. It might be more straightforward. But I'm going to say that the prison is the prison of the coma, not necessarily the prison of celebrity. Now, I don't know what the fact that all the prisoners need to be rescued. I don't know what that means. If I had to shoot a shot in the dark, I would say all the prisoners that need to be rescued are literally fractured parts of Nem's psyche. And if you rescue all of the prisoners, wakes up from the coma. Right? Again, a little outlandish. That's me shooting out in the dark. Because I'm assuming something good will happen from rescuing all the prisoners. So if all the prisoners represent a fractured part of Nem's psyche and they're all brought together, could mean something for episode 7. But again, I don't know that for certain. All we know is we need to let's just focus on the set dressing, which is episode 6. The prison is the prison of the mind. It's the prison of being in a coma. It's the prison of possibly also the prison of celebrity, but mainly I think it's because she's in a coma. Now, how do they explain that she's in a coma? Again, the AI is literally the only way you can AI is literally the only way you can do it. And a matter of fact, it makes sense. She has no control of what she shows up in, so she shows up in everything, which lets her live in the consciousness of the people. I'd like to believe that aiming a little further ahead, but if she is truly in a coma and then she comes out of the coma, she will literally not authorize her likeness to be used anymore after the fact. But again, that's a little farther ahead. But my whole thing is, the prison is the prison of the coma, right? She can go out to other dreams, but her mind herself is in a prison because of the coma. How does that work? I don't know. But basically, this prison was made, I almost want to say maybe as a preventative measure, because Knox knows about it. He's not the one who made it, but he's using it. Right? At least I think I'm reading that correctly. Preventing something bad instead of doing something good by completing the mission. I mean, I feel like it's too early to say if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Know what I mean? Because we shouldn't know that if it's a good thing or a bad thing just yet. That it's too early for us to say. Plus, it would be weird for that to be a mission. But then again, maybe I feel like at least Zero would know if something good or something bad would happen if he were to rescue the agents, rescue the prisoners. I don't know. Maybe. All right. Actually, you know what? Maybe even the coma bit. Maybe we're jumping maybe I'm thinking way too far ahead with this. We might not learn that until episode 7. So let's take Nem's body. I think we're on the wrong trail here. Let's leave this speculation of Nem's physical existence for episode 7. Might be a dream creature? I don't know. But let's leave that to the side. Let's try to figure out let's stick with the significance of the prison. Assuming we don't know her existence, you want more Capsum lore? No, I want more Capsum lore. Put aside Nem's physical existence. Boom, non-factor. Not knowing that, what are we to assume the prison represents? I think if we're to make the initial assumption that the prison is celebrity and that her childhood is playing a role, then the prisoners themselves are related tangentially to those memories. Could be your family, right? Could be your childhood friends. Who is the old guy? Could have been her father. Might have been her father or grandfather. Definitely, it feels like, could be grandpa, or it could be your father and they've just been in there that long, right? The prisoners, I want to say the prisoners are like memories past, like her friends, her family. That's what I want to say the prisoners are. They've been held there for so long. It leads me to believe that the prison will initially be seen as a prison of celebrity, right? Because normally when you think of celebrities, they can't really interact with the outside world. That's what I think. They can't really interact with the outside world. So, celebrity in itself could be a prison, but if we're looking at it from outside the box, it could lead to the revelation that she's in a coma, right? So I think we'll leave it there. The prison is the prison of her own mind created by celebrity, or at least that's how it'll be interpreted. And then the prisoners represent people from her past. So in order for her to be able to escape that prison, she will be one of the prisoners, and the prisoners themselves are literally her memories. So basically, you have to rescue her and her memories. That's what I'm sticking to. That's what I'm sticking to. That's the whole premise of the rescue. It is literally get Nem, get her memories, get the fuck out. That's it. That's what I'm narrowing it down to. All right. So this video serves as proof. That's my theory. We'll see how right I am next week. But I'd love to hear your theories. So if you're watching this live or you're watching this in a VOD or you're watching some VOD form, by all means in the comments section, please let me know what you guys think is going to happen with Nem in episode 6 and the whole deal with the prison. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. If you guys did not see the announcement on my YouTube posts, tomorrow we'll be doing the ZEZTZ-udan, 6 p.m. Eastern. But you're getting count 'em, 2 episodes of Gozuger because we did not do the show last week. You're getting a double feature. So you're getting this week's episode of Gozuger and last week's episode. So hope you guys will tune in. That will be an extra longer show. So we might be going for a whole full 2 hours tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. So hopefully you guys will tune in tomorrow for the Gozuger, or watch the VOD if you guys are watching this in a VOD, because it probably won't be the same day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan. I will see you all tomorrow or next time for the Gozuger. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love doing this every week with you guys. But again, if you're watching this post-stream, be sure to leave a like and comment, subscribe, all that good shit. And leave in the comments specifically your theory for episode 6. I love to hear them. I read the comments all the time. I'm getting out of here. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. This has been the Time Feed, the ZEZTZ-udan, if you will, with your boy, Call Sign Henshin. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will see you all next time on the next video. Until then, remember, the future's in your hands. It's up to you to seize it. And I will see you all next time. Peace!